Hello and welcome back. This video is for sixth grade math, and this is about dividing by three-digit divisors. That means taking a whole number or a multi-digit number and dividing it by a three-digit number. Okay, here is the first one we're going to do together. So we're taking 34,164 and dividing it by 292. Okay, so we always take the first number, and that's what goes inside the division bracket. So I'm going to make 34,164 inside, and I'm going to put 292 on the outside. So first I want to see how many times 292 fits into 3. And that's going to be 0 times. That doesn't work at all. 292 then fits into 34, also 0 times. That doesn't fit either. Now I can check and see how many times 292 fits into 341. So for this one, it will fit. In fact, it'll probably fit 1 time. So I'm going to put that 1 up there and then multiply 1 times 292, which is 292. And then I'm going to subtract those numbers. Okay, so I'm going to take 341 and subtract 292. And that should give me, let's see, I'm going to have to do some regrouping. 341 minus 292. That should give me 49. Okay, that's perfect because 49 is less than 292. So I know I'm on the right track. Now I have to bring down this 6 and figure out how many times 292 would fit into 496. So this is where we're going to do a little trial and error, a little guess and check to see. Now I could round 292 up to 300 and count by 300s till I get something that's close to 496. Or what I could do is I could go ahead and take 292 and multiply it by a number, an educated guess that might get me close. So since 200 would probably fit into 400 twice, I'm thinking that's where I'll start. Let's start by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 9 times 2 is 18. Then 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So that's 584. That's a little too much, unfortunately. So we're going to go back down to 1. And then I'm going to put the 292 here. Okay, so 6 minus 2 is 4. 9 minus 9 is 0. And 4 minus 2 is 2. So even though that's a big amount to get when we subtract, 204 is less than 292. So that tells me that we were correct, that we would not have been able to go through or fit 292 into there 2 times. It would have been too much. So now I'm going to bring down the 4, and now I have to figure out how many times 292 fits into 2044. So that's a much bigger number to be dealing with. So again, I could round it up to 300 and count by 300s to see how close I could get. Or I could take a little guess, knowing that 2 was 500. Maybe I start with something bigger, get close, because I know if I did 292 times 10, that'd be 2,900. So maybe let's try 9 or 8. Let's go with 8 and see how that lands us. 2 times 8 is 16. Then 9 times 8 is 72, plus 1 is 73. 2 times 8 again is 16, plus 7. And that would give me 13. Okay, so 23. Unfortunately, that's still a little too big than 2044. So I'm going to have to go down. Let me go ahead and take this away and this. So that was 8. Let's try 7. 2 times 7 is 14. 9 times 7 is 63, plus 1 would be 64. And then 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 6 would be 20. Oh my goodness, that is perfect. That's exactly the number we're looking for. So I'm going to put the 7 up here, the 2044 here. And when I subtract that, I got 0 left over. So my answer to this would be 117. Okay, here is the next one. We're going to take 7,974 and divide it by 886. So let me go ahead and do 7,974 inside, and then 886 on the outside. Okay, so I know 886 will not fit into 7. It will not fit into 79. It won't even fit into 797 because it's too big. So now we just need to figure out how many times it fits into the whole thing. Okay, so let's start by doing 886. I'm picking a number to multiply that by to see how close we can get to the whole thing, the 7,974. So I know if I multiply 886 times 10, that would be 8,860. So that's a little too much. Let's go down one more. Let's go to 9. 6 times 9 is 54. So I'll do that right there. 8 times 9 is 72. Plus 5 would be 77. And then 8 times 9 again is 72. But this time plus 7 would be 79. And would you look at that? That is exactly the number we are looking for. So our answer up here would be 9. And then we could put this down here and subtract it just to follow the steps and make sure. And that's 0 left over. So the answer to this, even though these are big, scary numbers, the answer is only 9. All right, here is our next one. We're going to take 250 and divide it by 250. Okay, so if you are familiar with division and the rule that any number divided by the same number is equal to 1, then you already know the answer to this. It would be 1. But let's play it out just to see. Let's put the 250 inside and then the other 250 on the outside. So 250 doesn't fit into 2 or 25, but it would fit into 250 exactly one time. 1 times 250 is 250, and when you subtract it, you get 0 left over. So your answer here is definitely 1. Okay, so here's our next one. Unfortunately, no trick or shortcut to this one. 228,573 divided by 603. So I'm going to start with 228 and then 573 divided by, oops, that didn't correct the way I wanted it, 603. Okay, so we know 603 does not fit into 2 or 22 or 228. So we need to figure out how many times it fits into 2,285. So let's take 603 over here and let's just start with a number that we think will get us close. Well, I know that 6 times 4 is 24, so maybe I do 6 times 3 or 600 times 3. Let's try 3. Okay, so 3 times 3 is 9, 0, and then that would be 18. Okay, so that would definitely fit, but I'm not sure if we could get closer. So let's try 4 just to see. 603 times 4, that would be 12. 0 times 4 is 0 plus 1, and then that would be 24. So yeah, 4 is going to be too big because 2,412 is bigger than 2,285. So I'm going to take that away, and instead we're going to go with the 3. I'm going to go put that up there, maybe erase this, and put the 1809 right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract those, and I will have to use some regrouping to do that. But when I do, I end up with 476. So like we've talked about previously in this video and in a previous video, we know that if the number we get when we subtract these two numbers is smaller than the number we're dividing by, then we are on the right track. Okay, so let's bring down the 7. Now we need to figure out how many times 603 fits into 4,767. So we know 3 times is about 1,800. Let's double that. Let's see what 6 times would get us. So 3 times 6 is 18. And then we have 0 times 6 plus 1, which is 1. And then we have 36. Okay, so that's kind of close, but maybe we could go closer. Let's try 603 times 7 and see where we get. So that would be 21. 0 times 7 plus 2 is 2. And 6 times 7 is 42. Okay, so that's a lot closer than the 6. So we're going to go with the 7 on this one. I'm going to put the 7 up here and the 4, 2, 2, 1 here. Okay, I'm going to kind of delete some of these. Let's see, maybe I should delete this one since we didn't use the 6. And then I'll move this one over and give us a little more room. Okay. So then when we subtract this, we should end up with 6 here 4 here, and a 5 here. So 546, again, is smaller than 603. So we're on the right page or the right track or the right page, either one. And then 3. Okay, so now we need to figure out how many times 603 fits into 5,463. Well, we can see what 7 is. It's 4,221. So we know we need to do something bigger. Let's try 8. 603 times 8. So that's going to be 24. 0 times 8 plus 2 is 2. And 6 times 8 is 48. We might be able to get even closer if we try 9. So I'm going to go ahead and for this one, erase the 7. And I'm going to do a 9 here. So 3 times 9 is 27. 0 times 9 is 0 plus 2 would be 2. And then 6 times 9 is 54. Oh, look how close we are. We are so very close. All right, let's see here. So, let me double check that. I feel like maybe I kind of rushed that one. Let's see. Just checking on my math. Okay. So 54,027. Okay, so 9 times. I mean, it looks right so far. Okay, 54,027. When I subtract that, I should end up with 5,463 minus 5,427, and that equals 36. So 379 with a remainder of 36 should be my final answer. Okay, here is my last one for today's video. 71,319 divided by 321. So 71,319 divided by 321. Okay, so we know 321 does not fit into 7 or 71, but it will fit into 713. I'm going to guess about twice because I know two 300s would get me 600 or something like that. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with twice. 321 times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And 3 times 2 is 6. So that's 642. That's pretty close to 713. And I think that's close enough because if I added another 300 to that, then we'd be in the 900 range. So I think that's going to be good. So I'm going to put 2 here, 642 here to subtract. And then I'm going to go ahead and subtract those. 713. It's going to involve some regrouping. 642. I should end up with 71. And then I'm going to bring down this 1. Well, good news is we already know about how many times that would fit in because like last time we got times 2, it was 642, and that was really close to 713. This is only 711. It's not that much different. So we're going to go with a 2 again and subtract 642 and see what we get. So let's do 711 minus 642, again with some regrouping, and we end up with 69. We'll bring down the 9. Okay, again, that's pretty close to 642. I think, again, if we added another 300 to that, we'd be way past it. So I think we're safe to go with another 2. 642. And subtract that, we have 7 and 5 left over. So since 57 is less than 321, we know that is the closest we could have gotten. And again, we have no more numbers to bring down. So technically we're done. We can report this as 222 remainder 57. We could also report it as 222 and 57 over 321 as a fraction, or we could add a decimal and keep dividing until we either run out of decimals or we round to the nearest place value. But for this one, I'm just going to say 222 remainder 57. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you in the next video.